floor. If you cannot give the public safety report, I will contact.
Look.
I will contact Commander
I have other things
Fitzgerald.
I have to do out there too. So I know you guys came here to see a lot of this stuff. So I'm gonna read out my report, and then whatever they do after this, and then go ahead and do it. All right.
That's right.
All right.
Can I see my
So,
developers, please?
To the best of my knowledge, this is for 505, 506, and 507, correct?
506, PSA's 505 and 507. We
Correct.
can start with 507.
All right. So I'm going to start with 5D in general, and I'm going to compare 3 different time periods. First time period is this month, last year, so this October and October of last year, calendar year to date, and fiscal year to date. So far, violent crimes during this 30-year period compared to last 30-year period is down 27%. If you take the same violent crimes over this calendar year, they are up 6%, but fiscally from September to October, they're down 25%. And I'll go into some more numbers as to why some of the crimes went up and down. Overall crime, the 30-day compared to the last 30 days, down 20%. Calendar year to date, down 3%, and fiscal year to date, down 17%. And that's total crime. That's due to a drop in property crime, 18% over the last 30 days, 5% calendar year to date, and 16% fiscal year to date. All right, now focusing on 505, 506, and 507. 505 violent crimes are up 31%. This is due to a large portion of this is due to increasing robberies that occurred between 9th Street and 12th Street, 9th Street and 14th Street on Rhode Island Avenue. Between those, we've had 2 individuals that accounted for 6 of those robberies. Those 2 individuals have been arrested. They are both juveniles. They accounted for 6 of the 11 robberies that increased from last 30 days, a year ago, to this last 30-day time period. PSA 506, violent crimes are down 50%, and PSA 507, violent crimes are down 6%. Property crimes, this is all over the 30-day period. Property crimes in 505 are down 35%, 506 are down 12%, and 507 are down 18%. For an overall total reduction in crime in 505 of 24%, 20% in 506, and 16% in 507. Fiscal year to date, 505 violent crimes are up 30%. Again, a large portion of that is due to the robberies. 506 violent crimes are down 48% fiscally, and 507 violent crimes are up 11%. Property crimes over the same time period in 505 are down 20%, 506 are down 9%, and 507 are down 28%. Overall total for 505, down 11%, 506 down 17%, and 507 down 21% for this fiscal year. All right, some things, like I mentioned, the 505 robberies, there was a dramatic increase. There was 11 of them, 6 of them were closed with the arrest of the 2 juveniles. As a result of the increase in robberies, the commander put a special unit on Rhode Island Avenue from 9th to 14th Street. I'm sorry. And that unit is still in place. 506, there are 2 special beats. Sorry, I'm getting over a little cough. In 507, there was. I'm gonna grab some water. Okay.
You have a man.
Sit down, Commissioner Lee. Sit down. You're out of order. What items do you want to add at this late date to the agenda?
We did send this to you last week.
You sent me an agenda. Well, yeah, you didn't ask for cases. We sent it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't. We like the T-Mobile PO box.
Did you read the agenda, Commissioner Lee? It's already on there. No, we're not gonna send this PO box. Obviously, we can't pass it. No.
We'll take care of that right quick.
Sit down.
I'm not gonna sit down.
Then stand throughout the meeting.
Stand with you.
That's fine. That's your right.
I know.
That's right. That's your right. I'm the chairperson. I'm being flanked by the vice chairperson.
I'm not being flanked. I'm just standing in my position.
Do you know what flank means?
Yes.
What does it mean?
Chair Henderson, I'm sorry to get in the middle of this, but we do have a time-sensitive project, and we have people here who want to hear the project. And so this is for 411 New York Avenue. So we noticed that on whichever agenda it may be, the revised agenda, old agenda, we just want to make sure that we have the opportunity to speak and to get.
And please state your name.
Sorry, I'm Samantha Mezzo. I'm with Griffin
Ms.
Murphy.
Mazo, you're on the agenda, you will be heard. We do apologize for the apparent misunderstanding. We're going to move forward, you will be heard.
All right, that's fine, we'll take you at your word, but we just wanted to make clear to the rest of the ANC that this is a project that has a significant amount of community support, and we need to be able to have the ANC take a resolution in support of the project. Thank you.
Ms. Mazo, just thank you. And the agenda.
You're not been recognized by the chair, Commissioner Roberts. You're not recognized by the chair.
Right, no, my understanding.
Excuse me, Ms. Mazo.
That's fine.
Excuse me.
We will-
I am chairing this meeting.
Okay.
I am the chairperson. Thank you. At this time, I would ask, let's see, well, now it's your call. You have the floor.
All right, well, let's go ahead.
Let's go ahead.
We are ready to go.
Point of order.
Excuse me, you're out of order.
No,
You're
agenda-
out of order.
agenda was
You're out of
adopted.
order.
I can
You're
guarantee
out
you
of
that
order.
an
You're
agenda
out
was
of order.
adopted, not
You're out
yours.
of order.
So are
You're
you.
out of
So
order.
Vice Chair,
You're out
are
of
we doing
hand
this?
I have a
down.
question though. Has the
Excuse me, Ms. Mazo, I need you to go forward with your
That's fine.
presentation.
Alternatively, we would ask that the MPD would cede some of his time to us to allow our presentation to go forward. If
Sergeant
indeed-
Bellavance,
Sergeant
I would
Bellavance.
expect for you to, this is a government meeting.
Can I share my community's input before they begin their presentation?
The chair recognizes Commissioner Lewis.
Okay, they
Briefly.
presented, I can't remember, last week Thursday, and the community is wholeheartedly supporting the project. They're quite excited, and we're hoping that the entire commission supports the project because that's what the community wants.
And this will be real quick. I'm Samantha Mezzo. I'm with the law firm of Griffin, Murphy, Moldenhauer, Wiggins. You have repeatedly seen my colleague Meredith Moldenhauer here. She is unfortunately at another meeting, so I am here. This is a very, very exciting project at 411 New York Avenue. It is the transformation of a currently industrial building into an arts-related hotel. We've got the architect here, we've got the developer, both Brooks Rose and Dennis Lee, who'd like to say a few things. We also have representatives of Cultural DC who will be managing the arts project in the building. And I will mostly be quiet unless there are zoning questions.
You have the floor.
But I do want to say that we have drafted a draft resolution in support for the ANC to review and sign. This project is going to be heading to the zoning commission shortly, and so it is
Shortly, what is the date?
we're still working on getting a date with the, we submitted our pre-hearing statement earlier this week, and so we're working with the secretary in order to secure a date, but it is important that we get a resolution of approval today. Since we're here, we're all here, we've been here twice, and we've met with the SMD, so appreciate it, thanks.
Thank you, please proceed.
My turn.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Brooke Rose, and I'm here tonight with my partner Dennis Lee to present our hotel project at 411 New York Avenue. The project has come before this group before, but since our last presentation, we've met with the local single-member ANC led by Commissioner Lewis. And I'm happy to report at that meeting, the community was in full support of our project. Just to refresh your memory of the project, we were trying to develop an approximately 170-room boutique hotel where an existing commercial building resides. And what makes this project particularly unique is our partnership with the non-for-profit Cultural DC. Cultural DC will weave an arts component throughout the hotel, including subsidized artist studios, classrooms, art displays, and an arts programming of different events. Tonight we have several members of our team here to go through the separate elements of the project for you. David Delcher is here from our architecture firm BBGM. I got 2 for 1. And he will review the proposed layout of the project. And Tanya Hilton, the executive director of Cultural DC, will review the arts component in Cultural DC's involvement. And again, you've met Samantha. She's from our attorney's office, and she'll be here to answer any zoning questions. So without further ado, I'll step back and 411 New York Avenue.
Evening all. We'll keep it short, hopefully. First slide. So the project is at 411 New York Avenue, we're calling it right now. It's this red square, which is next to a couple of buildings that are going up right now, just north of the Union Market on New York Avenue. I think what else is a notable landmark in that area. The Florida Avenue Bridge is over here. And Gallaudet is down to the south side. So there's a building on the site right now. It's an older property, takes up most of the site. Part of the building, this lower 3 stories here, is an interesting facade that seems to date a while back, but it's not a historic structure. You can see the rest of it is pretty worn down. We're going to try and keep the front facade here, not that new addition that was put on at some point, and incorporate that in our project. We like the property, we like the way it gives us a feel to work with what we're doing here rather than just putting a new building in the middle of nowhere. So this is the existing building as it was many years ago with the 3 stories. At some point this addition was put on, we're taking that off. And some of the details of the building. So just to start off, this is a new project. This is that facade you saw that's going to be retained. We're adding to it a tower that steps back first a little bit and then a little more. And it's a hotel of 170 something keys. On the ground floor, we've got the public areas, restaurant, check-in, a second floor, which is going to be multifunctional, but for arts and for meeting space and for educational training, then guest rooms. And on the top floor, we have 2 heights of roof that has a large restaurant, again, multifunctional to be used for exhibit space, as well as an outdoor sculpture garden. So here's a view looking back towards town on New York Avenue. Sorry, the other view is looking out of town on New York Avenue. This is the white is the existing building that's. This is the existing building you see going up right now, and that white box up there is the by right volume that would be able to be built next door. This is the view if you're on the sidewalk, and the Port Cochere you drive in. This is where the cars would come in. This is where the check-in is. The restaurant would be along New York Avenue. There's a view looking back the other way where you can see inside and how we're keeping the facade. We really like the charm of it. This might be a little hard for some of you to read. It's like a bird's view looking down so that you can see the multiple roofs on the top. This is the big multifunction restaurant up top. It's got a terrace looking north. There's actually a pool deck and roof up on the very top, and then on the back is another roof deck that looks south. That's just looking at the back side, the same thing, just from different views. This is the back terrace looking south. So the garage is the garage. Nothing really to talk about there, but this is New York Avenue on the top. This is how you saw that view coming in under the Port Cochere. This is the area under the Port Cochere. You could drive in, you could drop off, and then your cars go down to the ramp. The lobby is this area, and there's actually no real distinction between lobby and restaurant other than furnishings and furniture, but it's all one space. So the lobby and the restaurant sort of feed back and forth. There's a stair in the lobby. A grand stair is going to go up to the second floor, which we see the dotted lines from back there. Those are the openings to the second floor. The second floor will actually have studios and stuff that you'll be able to see when you come in or when you're dining. We'll hear a little more about that from Cultural DC. Then there's back of house and kitchen, the usual stuff. Now we're also looking at enlivening the alley towards Union Market or the old market. It's a very wide alley. It does have access to the back of the other hotel going up over there. But we'd like to put some studios in here and dress up the paving on the alley so it's actually a inviting way to get to and from and connect to the Union Market area rather than having to come all the way around second floor, as I said, these are the openings up to the second floor, where we've got some of the mezzanine restaurant that has a stair that comes up to that. We've got some studios, then you can see the artists actually up there working, and then a gallery, a classroom, and another studio in the back, which will often be open for rented functions, for teaching. There's all sorts of opportunities to work with that space. And there's a sculpture garden on the corner, I got to point out. Typical floors, guest rooms. The brand it's not a standard like Hilton or Marriott. It's going to be unique, boutique brand, lifestyle brand, focused on arts. This is the upper roof indoor area, which we call a restaurant and gallery. Plan on having movable seating for the tables and chairs, as well as for display for art. It's not really fixed. There's no really fixed elements here. It's open to front, both of the front terrace and the back, which is a little black here, but this is all various paving and landscape issues. It's an open terrace as we saw from above. And then, of course, there's a kitchen up there too. It's like a restaurant. This is going up further to showing the pool terrace up top, and how you get there from this deck going up. That's it. We'll go back to the perspective. So that's the main view I think everybody's going to see. We're picking up on the copper panel. Showing all over. If you noticed earlier, there's some of the existing detailing on this building. It's got some limestone and some copper panels and spandrels. We're picking up on that in the copper grids of this main centerpiece. It's on the side. It looks like the center where you drive in, which also picks up on the studios. You'll see doing a similar motif inside in the restaurant and lobby area. The rest of this side is over here is a little more industrial looking. It's all keeping in the same family, but we wanted to break down the scale of the building both in height, setback, and material. So if anybody's got any questions right now or say it.
Is it too early to ask about where we were parking? I saw you.
Parking was down, and when you drove in, it goes down several floors below grade.
Space.
In the back.
Space, parking space.
I mean, parking space.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head.
47?
47? Yeah, 47. It meets the zoning code. In the back.
Yeah, what percent of the employment during the construction phase after will come directly from the community?
Excuse me, if I would ask that you just allow them to get through the presentation, and then I'll open it up for you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hi there, everyone. As mentioned before, I'm Tanya Hilton, and I'm Executive Director of Cultural DC. We can't be more excited about this project, and why? Because it's coming to this community. You know, Cultural DC has been around about 17 years, but I tell you a little bit about us and help you understand how we feel that we're really suited to work on this effort with our development partners. You know, we've been around about 17 years, and we've worked with artists, arts organizations, government organizations like the Arts and Humanities Commission, the Office of Planning, and others throughout our history, and other real estate developers. As a matter of fact, about 10 years ago, there was this place that had sat vacant for almost 25 years. It's called the famous Atlas Historic Theater. We were instrumental in getting that mortgage forgive and advising on the design and redesign of the property and putting together the operating plan and bringing in artists. And even today we collaborate and bring artists into the Atlas Theater. So that doesn't make you happy. What about Hands on Drums? One of our projects right here in Ivy City that, well, not right here, but in what was called in the Washington Post as Ivy City this weekend. Sorry.
Still Ivy City.
Yes, okay. If you like that, I can call it that. And Hands on Drums is one of our artists that we're supporting with a temporary location while it's not being used by one of our developers, so that we can make more spaces for artists. And they're going to be doing workshops and bringing in the community. Grand opening is this Saturday, the 14th. So from, what is it, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. So you guys can come out and enjoy some of it. But the key for tonight is not, you know, that particular project, but it's all the ones that we've done. And in this particular project, all that we can bring to this project as a result of the things that we've been doing for the last 17 years in this area. And specifically for what we're calling finally the Art Hotel, because that's the way we see it. As mentioned, we're going to have over 3,000 square feet of space. Oh, we're talking about the 8 million square feet of space that's going to be developed throughout Union Market. Well, there's plenty of room for art in the community, and that isn't there, with the Art Hotel being one of them. So in our partnership, there's over 3,000 square feet of exhibition areas that you saw as he was going through the layout of the hotel. And we hope to have all sorts of artists, installation, local artists that are doing really interesting things. I mean, I can go into details there if you have questions about the type of artists and things that we've been working with and how we hope to pull them in. In addition to the exhibition spaces where we hope to see all sorts of things, the working studios that we'll have. There'll be 8 of them. And those 8 studios, we'll have all sorts of artists in the studios. The key to the studios, though, is that we're going to be bringing them in at an affordable level. So it's going to be well below market rates, and that's what's important. And that's how we get local artists involved, and we really highlight their work, and they can bring their work to the community and work with the children K through 12, as well as the adults and the seniors, as well as those patrons from the Art Hotel. In addition to the studios, which will be subsidized, I say again, the classroom will be a real hub. All sorts of things, film screenings we can do, artist talks, workshops. I was involved in one recently, and I saw a 6-year-old learning how to make a tent, you know, with some interesting structures from the artists. So it'll be a real exciting, vibrant place, this classroom, and we'll keep it going with all sorts of activities, because that's what we do. We know all the art, not all, we know a lot of artists in the community and a lot of arts organizations that we've been working with. In addition to that, last but not least, those exhibition spaces, they can be as colorful and as creative as we as a community, that's all of us, decide we want them to be. And at the end of it all, I think the most important thing, we'll go to the next slide. The last slide. Is that our last slide? Okay, well, I see you ended it there, you didn't do this slide. Okay, so the bottom line is, we're really inspired by this project. It's time that it's here, and it's going to help the community really galvanize around this project.
Are you done with your presentation? Sir, in the back, you have questions?
Yeah,
And can you please speak loud enough for everyone to hear you? Thank
Yes,
you.
question for the developers. What percentage or what kind of plan you guys have in place to employ the local community with construction? Is there any kind of projection?
Right now, we're working on the construction projections. We have for the hotel, we're gonna have 100 to 110 employees full-time, and our first use will be to go to the community, and we'll do the same with the construction, although, you know, we're working with general contractors to figure out what that exact number will be.
So you don't actually have a percentage of what community of employment would be?
We're working on that right now.
Excuse me, Commissioner Lewis, then Commissioner Lee.
Okay, I don't know if you guys know the dynamics of my single member district, but I have Ivy City, I have Gallaudet University, and I also have Union Market. And one of the things that my residents realized at the meeting on the 29th, this project will actually unite the community, because their arts component is something that the Ivy City residents really like, and you know, they feel as if they can partake of. They don't necessarily feel that way about other areas within the community or within the single member district. So when the project was being presented, I just felt so good for a change, that my residents are like, oh my God, we can go here because we can afford it. So I saw it as Ivy City residents would move on down to the hotel, and then the Gallaudet students, because there will be desk space within their development, they'll be able to go over. And also the patrons of Union Market would be able to go over there, enjoy the art shows, and also, you know, it's a hotel, so we can have traffic from outsiders. So we're quite excited of this project because we see it as a unifier of the entire SMD, not just something that's there.
Commissioner Lee?
So, as she said, the dynamics of Ivy City, so in these hotel jobs, will you have some kind of training or work with employment services? Because the skill level of people in Ivy City to make sure they're gonna meet, because I've been in the hotel industry for 20 years, it's a certain, and what you're asking for, you're asking for a certain type of person and a certain amount of quality. So people are gonna have to be trained. Are you looking into that, some kind of training that's gonna move? So please, so you actually do have people who live in Ivy City walking over to go to work.
No, absolutely. The operators that we speak to are aware of the commitment to the community employment and the necessity of training that goes hand in hand, because it will be a 3.5 to 4-star hotel, so there will be a level of quality there, and the training will be critical.
And who's gonna operate for you?
That we're unsure of right now. We have our RFP out looking for an operator. So it's gonna be a boutique, as I said, a lifestyle brand. It's not gonna be a Hilton or a Marriott. We're speaking with commune hotels, Sidell, a variety of lifestyle brand.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other similarities. More like a Kimpton style operator, but not Kimpton, because
I've got 9 here in town.
and they have many in town. But I'm just trying to think of an example that you could relate to us here in town.
And they want Kimpton like
Thank
one
you.
special type of homes. That
Can I
train.
just say one thing in response to what our friend Mayor said? Thank you.
Commissioner Lewis?
Along the lines of the integration between Gallaudet Union Market and our hotel, well, you know, at Union Market, they have a pop-up theater. It would be nice to do film festivals between the two of us, you know, for example. And at Gallaudet, they're going to be having a whole arts innovation piece with a company coming from LA to actually develop it there. And we can connect that work to our work as well. And they do have a school there for kids as well, right? So
Yeah.
there's all sorts of opportunities for us to really work that triumph.
As we've been working on this project, exciting things keep happening that we didn't even know about when we came up with this concept to be an arts hotel. And Tanya was saying is the company that did Despicable Me, I don't know if you have any kids, they watch Despicable Me and the Minions, they're actually relocating here to on Gallaudet's campus. I mean, it's a very, very exciting thing. So what's happening is it's becoming a little bit of a hub for the arts. And in addition to that, right next to us in the old Maurice Electric site, Eden's group emailed and said, we got a tenant, 12,000 square feet, it's an internet advertising agency, it's national. So again, we didn't know that when we were kind of like, came up with the concept, but it all seems to be laying out where they can integrate with each other.
And that's needed for the single member district.
And my last
Excuse me,
question-
excuse me.
My last question.
Excuse me,
Did you
Commissioner
contact
Lee,
Duke Ellington
you've not
School of
been
Arts?
recognized by the chair. I have a question and then I will recognize you. Please do not speak out of order. The next time you speak out of order, you will be escorted from the meeting. Again, I've received, and I'm sorry for the disorderly issues, but we're trying to maintain this meeting for the benefit of the constituents and the public so that we can move forward. I received an inquiry regarding possible displacement. One of the constituents before the meeting asked me, would this project displace any residents? They were concerned about infrastructure issues, whether or not this project would have a negative impact on sewer, public streets, and are you designating any funds to address those issues?
Yeah, no, I mean, as far as displacement, there's no residents in the building. There's, I would say it's 50% art studios in there, and then there's some new startup companies like Ride, which is an electric bike company. So we're not displacing any residents. And as part of the arts transition, Culture DC is going to work with the artists that are there, work on some sort of gallery showings or move them forward. So I'm not sure what the displacement is. As far as the utilities, these guys talk to that. DC Wausau, we're very careful to make sure we don't overload the sewer and the water. That's all calculated.
Thank you, Commissioner Lee.
Drew Gallatin, did you
As a
contact?
matter of
Dave?
fact, I, was with, Peggy Cooper Caperitz at her home at a book club meeting on Sunday. And we were talking about this project and she was pretty excited about it and the things that we can do in the community. So, yes, we're going to be working with them and she's like, well, how can we get our kids in our schools involved? And I said, the same way we always do. We figure out what's best based on who lives where and what they're working on. And we'll bring them in. So yes, most definitely. We're going to integrate
And our vision of the arts is broader than just paint. It's gonna be sculpture, music, film, crafts. It's gonna be pretty broad.
And for you, those of you that don't know, Peggy Cooper Caperitz was the founder for the Ellington School of Arts and is still an avid supporter of all of her kids there. And those who graduated from there that are still doing things in the city, some wonderful things.
Yes, ma'am.
And what I heard you say is that there are 107 units with only 47 parking spaces. That sounds pretty small when you not only think about how many people could be occupying your hotel, but then all the things that you're talking about doing and bringing in. How does the area wind up accommodating?
Yeah, you know, the parking is a general zoning formula. We're asking for a small amount of relief, but, you know, with the context of what we need to practically run the hotel, it's sufficient. And then it's all gonna be valet, so there'll be double parking and stacking, as they call it. And then the hotel to our north, who we have a relationship with, they have an abundance, they have overpark. So we have a relationship with them, and I'm pretty certain we're gonna have more parking than we need.
Go ahead, go ahead.
And let me say,
I
I am
wanna wrap up.
only for the project. I'm just asking
No, I
some
understand.
questions